Hi guys, how you doing? Good evening. Let me just fix this for a minute because it's causing a bit of an issue. Wait, wait for a minute. Let's see. Wait, can we get this one maybe? Okay, there we go. We'll keep that one. Okay, so welcome guys. Welcome. Good evening. Today we're going to do one of the episodes we used to do, or one of the shows we used to do, the boardroom with Pitchpoints. Obviously, that's Karl, and he's going to come here. And basically, what we're going to do today is we're going to have thoughts on how Man City develop young youth players into elite players. Basically, if you can see from the thumbnail, a lot of players have come from Man City. Marketing right now, who's also playing very well. I was watching the match against Sheffield United and Brighton. He looks very well and ready, to be honest. Unfortunately, he decided to go to Sheffield United. Sancho, who's now at Dortmund, also playing very well at Dortmund. Yes, he did not work out at Man United, but we won't concern ourselves with how they're succeeding because even Jeremy Frimpong is one of the best right backs in the world right now. Is at Leverkusen. Leverkusen might win the league, and he's very pivotal. Angelino, who was doing very well, I think he'll go back to Germany very soon. Cole Palmer, who was at Chelsea, also a City academy. Let's not forget the star boy himself, Foden, right now, who's won all the trophies you can win in the world for a football player at a very, very young age of 23. And then you talk about Lewis, who's coming in, Hampton, who's coming in. There's a lot of stars that have been produced by Man City and are going to the world. So let's not also forget Girona. Girona's got Alex Garcia, Eric Garcia. Even though you don't like him, he's also at Girona. He hasn't been dribbled past. All this come from the City Academy. So today we're going to discuss it with Karl, who obviously is a coach himself, and he's going to share some details on how he thinks and thoughts he has on how City are developing these kids to become elite players. So, Karl, how you doing, man? I hope you're having a good evening.
Yeah, I'm having a good evening. Thank you, Patrick, for having me on. Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Excellent. Yeah, it was good day. I went this morning. We had a game at 9 o'clock this morning. It was my U15, 16. We had a 77 indoor game. Really good game. I really enjoyed that game a lot because I didn't talk as much on the sideline. I just let them just do their thing. I just kind of guided and directed them. I'm trying some new things with the team, and they really performed. I think we played today. We lost last week to them 4-3. Today we won 9-3. So it was really, really good. And all the goals that the opposition scored was 2 free kicks and then 1 mistake. But all our goals were just dominant. Really good performance.
So you like to introduce the people exactly like what you do. It's not coach. Yeah. You explain to them, but you're a coach. You coach.
Yeah.
So you've got a bit of insight in coaching youth.
Yeah. So I coach 2 clubs, if you would, here in the United States. I have a club that I coach in my local area. 2 teams there, and then also I'm one of the coaching staff, one of the coaches for the Man City Academy, what they call the Manchester City Soccer Academy here in the USA. So what I mean by that is basically in the USA, the club have an academy which they are using to develop young players, U8, U10, U12. And so what the club have done is that they bought equity in this company called SoFi, and I'll share my screen in a minute to talk about that so that I'm not just talking. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you hold on? Here we go. Good. I'm going to share my screen. So this is the club in the USA, the academy. Can you see my screen? Patrick, can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen. Yeah.
Okay, good. So this is the club in the USA, Man City Soccer Academy in the USA, and they have locations all around the country, in California, in Maryland, in New York, in New Jersey, in Philadelphia. You can see all their field locations, examples of that here. There are about 12 different locations that they have across the country for the academy. Everything from Brooklyn, New York, see right here, to Columbia, Maryland, which is where I'm at, all the way through Elkins Park in Pennsylvania, all around Meadowlands in New Jersey, New York, Rockville in Maryland, all around the country, right? So they have these programs that they're using basically to develop young players. And there are 2 programs that they have in the US. One is called the YDC. So this is for beginners. When kids want to start off and they don't know anything about football, they come into this program and they literally just start with teaching the basics of the game. The one in which I don't do that one much. So that's more of a junior kind of level. I'm more of the what they call the YDP, with this one here, which is called the Youth Development Program, the YDP. This is for the more advanced players who are looking to be elite, what we call we call them travel or academy players who want to up their game and understand the way City play. This is the one that's for them. This one I do. It's 2 weeks, 2 games, 2 sessions a week, Tuesday, Thursdays, and also a game on the weekend. So they get to play Tuesday, Thursdays, and then game on the weekend. We also do training for them on Tuesday and Thursdays, where they get to teach them the fundamentals of the City way of playing. And it's really, really interesting. All of us have been trained by Man City. So
wait, before you get there, first of all, guys, we're talking about thoughts on how Man City develop youth players to elite players. Obviously, it's something different. It's basically with Pitchpoints. Karl, you can go subscribe to the channel. He's always also part of this. So let me ask you something, Karl.
Yeah.
How do you select this? Because how does one, like, let's say, for instance, myself, my son plays football. If I wanted to bring my son to this program and he's 11 years old, how does he get into this program?
It's very simple. So the way he gets into the program, we advertise and we go out there and we look for players as well. So players will come, right? We'll assess them based on their skill level. We recommend them for the YDC, the beginners class, or we can say come to the YDP. There are times when a player does really well in the YDC that we promote them to the YDP program. There are players who are like 8 years old who are playing exceptionally well. We move them up to the older age group within the YDP program. So it's very fluid. But the way you get in is by the marketing that we do, right, across the country to bring these players into the program itself. That's kind of what we do. And then many times what happens is that we get a lot of repeat players coming back because they enjoy the program. It's a 13-week program where every week is different. I'll talk about kind of what we do. Every week is different. We build upon basic skills and fundamentals in the City way for these kids up until week 13. That's kind of what we do.
What's the assessment? What's the assessment of the kids? What sort of behaviors are you looking for the kids? Because obviously in the senior team, we hear that when they're scouting, they look at behavior, your attitude, how you behave as a person, if you're a nice individual, as Pep says. Does that apply to the youth? Or maybe some kids you didn't really tell when they were young?
Yeah, because we're still in the early stages, we're still developing these kids. So anybody can sign up, right? But what happens is if they sign up for the YDC and we see that this player has those behaviors that we like within, like for the first team, they get promoted based on their skill level and their ability to be mature. You see very often. And there's certain players who they're not playing well or they're not mature enough. They don't have those attributes. We tell the parents that, listen, your kid needs to go down to the low level, the YDC, and get more time one-on-one than the YDP. So it's always that constant tug of war between, is this kid ready for the next level, or do they need to go down to the YDC, which is the lower category, to basically get some more one-on-one coaching? But the whole methodology that we use within the program here in the US is based on the City model completely. There's no difference. It's the same thing that they deliver in the EDS, and the first team is what we're using right here. So we are coached by the guys from Manchester. They came down 2-3 months ago. They come down twice a year. They coach us over 3 days. We do field sessions. They walk us through the latest development within MCFC. We walk through everything, and everything we deliver is based on the fundamentals that we have right now in Manchester. The same program. And we're seeing here that when these kids start in week 1, they're rough around the edges. They don't know what we're talking about. They don't understand the fundamentals. Their technical skills are not as good. Their ball touch are not as good. They understanding the game is not as good. By the time they finish in week 13, we can see a significant improvement to the point where these kids now go off into the different clubs that they may go to in the springtime or the summertime to go and play. And they always come back. So again, here, all coaches are trained in the Man City coaching methodology, following the same methodology as City used to develop their players, the very same one, the same content, no different. The exact same content is what we use for that.
So the standard is the same, no matter it's in the UK, US, everywhere. The standard is the same.
The same, right? So, and the key about it is that Everything is done with the ball. Everything. So you know how in the old days they tell you, you're gonna run 3 kilometers, you're gonna run 3 miles, you're gonna do no, we don't do that. Everything has to be with the ball. Nothing is done without the ball. Every action, every play, every design, every session, every technical session is done with the ball. Nothing is done without the ball. For example, we go to week 1. I'm reading right, the week 1. The week 1 session says, hey, it's called an introduction to ball mastery learning, right? And the outcome for that week 1 is players need to feel comfortable to express themselves freely with their ball mastery skills in a positive learning environment. So for those who are saying, oh, Pep creates robots, it's all a lie. We teach these kids how to be good on the ball, which is why you have a Phil Foden who's good on the ball, a Cole Palmer who's good on the ball, a McAtee who's good on the ball, an Oscar Bob who's excellent on the ball. This idea that these guys are robots is all nonsense. We teach them to be masters of the ball. My son happens to attend the academy, right? His agility numbers are in the 90s for an 8-year-old, in the 90 percentiles. 90s, right? We teach them how to control the ball, how to use the ball, how to master the ball. You know, juggles, dribble, one-on-one, 2v2s, dribbling. We actually don't see much shooting in our sessions. It's all about control, move, pass, move, rotation, all those things, making angles, rondos. One thing again, every single session is built around the rondo.
So what I don't know if you're able to say this, but when they're young, right? Obviously, the training is not as intense as you would do with the adults, right? But when they're young, what sort of because first of all, if you look at Man City players, even the ones you said, Oscar Bob Lewis, they seem to play multiple positions. How do you do that? Like, how do you develop that person? Let's say, for instance, my son, let's say, is 12 and he plays as a striker. But how do you guys yield that? No, maybe this.
So I'm going to share with you.
You can also turn him into this, and then they end up playing multiple positions.
Right. So let me explain. I'm going to share with you one of the programs that teaches them how to play multiple positions. I'm going to share that with everybody. And for those who are in the USC here, find a local MCSA in your area, right? Because the same things that I'm talking about here is what they teach in those centers, right? So I'm evangelizing and sharing and marketing the program. So I'm going to share with you one example of a program. Let me just stop sharing my screen, and I'll show you exactly one of the sessions that I ran last week. Let me pull it up and share that with everybody here. Okay, it's coming up. Let me share my screen. So this is from week 10. Remember, I talked about the fact that in week 1 we start with the basics of hold on, it's a window. There we go. Excellent. Okay, can you see my screen? Patrick, can you see my screen?
Yeah, Patrick, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Yeah.
So your question, this is week 10. This is one of the sessions that the Man City Academy here in the US uses for their kids. It's also used in the EDS and also used in with the first team. You ask the question, how do these kids know how to swap positions and move around? So this is a 5v5 session, right? Set up with 10 players, 40 meters by 30 meters. So it's a small-sided field. Everything is done in a small-sided field. The idea here is that we have 2 goalkeepers, right? 4 blue and 4 red, right? You can see right here, Patrick, that we have 4 quarters in the game, 4 quarters in the field, right? All broken up by 4 quarters. And the rule here is that if the blue player cannot cross into the zone right here, we can't have more than 2 blue players in the zone or no more than 2 red players in any zone at any point in time. Okay? If a blue player wants to go to another zone, the blue player in the zone here has to go back to his position and rotate. Are you following me? So the rule here says, hey, you cannot have more than 2 players at any point in time in any of those zones. So you have positional play. But the goalkeepers are allowed to move anywhere on the field. So all of a sudden, let's say the goalkeeper starts on this side here. He has 2 blues next to play the ball through, and it's what? It's a 3v2. So we'll have an overload, using the goalkeeper to create a triangle. Okay? If the red player pushes up to the red zone here, right, that means that the blue one is free. He can pass the ball through. Or if the blue player wants to go score a goal on this goal here, he can move into this zone as long as the blue player over here swaps his position. So now you're seeing players swap positions in and out naturally. Now, when we started this in week 1, the players weren't ready for this. But this is week 10. And now in week 10, they're able easily to understand switching positions, in and out of positions, rotation.
So you're using 5v5 in this example, right? And that's
Correct.
how
We're
you
using
teach them.
5v5 in this example, but it's 4 on the field with 1 goalkeeper. The goalkeeper in possession becomes an outfield player, like Edison becomes. So all of a sudden, if you're building from the back here, right, it's 2 versus 1. Because you have the goalkeeper, 2 blue players, 1 red defensive player. This red player can go in here. The goalkeeper cannot play through to the blue over here. So it allows these kids to begin to make decisions, right? How do I move the ball? Who goes wide? Who goes short? Can I overload? If I press up, does that leave me exposed? If I have the ball, can I combine with the blue, give them the ball, and then change positions? We also say to them, you can also swap vertically. So blue can go over here, blue can come back. You can also swap horizontally from left to right too. You can go top to bottom, left to right. These are 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds and 10-year-olds learning positional play, how to move, do 1v1 dribbles, combine with your goalkeeper to create the third man and play through. And all the game, what we call the game practice, it's all here. Now, this is the 4th piece of a session. The first part of the session is just ball work, dribbling with the ball, combination with the ball, juggling with the ball, learning to control the ball. Session 2 of the 1 hour is now rondo. We do a 4v2, or we do a 4 versus 2 with +1, which is basically we have a box, 3 players on the outside, 2 in the middle to win the ball back, 1 player in the center, who's the pivot. And we say, if you can pass the ball to the pivot and switch the ball to the other side, you get 5 points. All of a sudden, they're learning how to play that number 6 role, the Rodri role, using 3 players versus 2. You know, that's another example. And then we go into 1v1 or 2v2 setup, and then we go into the game. We always have 4 quadrants to this. This is the same thing that they use in the academy and in the first team. And they talk about, there are 3 principles that they ask us to tell the kids, 3 principles. And you notice this whenever the first team play. First principle is, can I play through? Can I play the ball through the midfield? Yes, play through. If I can't play through the midfield, can I play around? Think about Jack Grealish and Foden on the wide area. Can I play around? If the center is blocked, can I play around? Yes, I play around, play around. If I can't play around, I can't play through, can I play over? 3 principles. The first team do it, the academy do it, we do it as well. We teach the kids how to play this way. Express yourself one-on-one, try to dribble through, use a goalkeeper to combine. If you can't play through, play around. If you can't play around, play over. And you'd be surprised, you'd be amazed that kids who had no clue about the game in week 10 are doing these things so well that it's incredible. This is one example of a game practice that we do for the kids. There are 13 of these different things times 4. Almost 72 of these things that we have to teach these kids at every single practice, every week. In the city way.
Just a question. Do any of these kids, like, is there any, offices in America, but do any of these kids get a pathway to England?
Ultimately, it's up to the kids. We're looking for a way in which you can expand this out. Some kids go on trial, some kids go to Europe, some kids go to the Netherlands, some kids go to other clubs. We're still young in our development. We're looking for a way in which these kids can actually go and showcase, right, themselves in Manchester or in the UK. We're not there yet, but that's the goal at the end of the day. Is that out of all this stuff, maybe there's 1 or 2 talents that we find through this process that we can bring to Manchester and begin to populate the whole CFG, the whole club with it. That's the idea. The club owns SoFi, which is in the US. There are about 12 different locations around the country. They own it. There are fields around the whole country. There are players who come in there. Right now in our program here in Maryland, we have over 100 kids in the program. Multiply that by 10. That's 1,000 kids across the whole country on average, who are learning the same way, the same city way, the same way, creating the plethora of kids who are playing the game the way City like to play, using the same methodology. So it's no surprise when I see Foden so good on the ball, when I see Oscar Bob so good on the ball, I see Cole Palmer good on the ball, it's because they're using the same methodology that we are using right now for these kids. I see the difference, Patrick. I see it every day. I see little 8-year-old boys dribbling a pass and combining the play, switching the point of attack. I see them taking them one-on-one. shouting at each other to get into space, building the play up from the back, using the goalkeeper as the third man. I see that 8 years old, Patrick, balling, clapping for them. It's the City way. It's incredible. Now, other clubs have the same thing. Barcelona has the same kind of thing in the US. Dortmund have the same thing. Villarreal have the same thing. Even Liverpool have the same thing. But the methodology that we use comes from Manchester. And it's incredible. So this is one example of a session that we run with them. I'm going to share you another example.
When did all this come to? Was it always there in America?
No, it wasn't always. It's recent. It hasn't always been there. It's been new. It's been recent, but it's been powerful. It's actually absolutely powerful.
So basically, it's been received very well by the locals.
It's incredible. We get kids. I mean, right now we have 100 kids. It got to a point where I had to stop recruiting kids or getting kids into the program because we didn't have the space. We didn't have the time. Part of my challenge is making sure that all the kids I get the same amount of attention that I give. Like my 5 o'clock program, I have about 20 kids I have to manage.
Yeah.
So there are 2 coaches that do that. And then you're trying to make sure that all the coaches have the same energy as I do, so that the parents don't feel shortchanged. So here's one session that we introduced that we absolutely love. So this session basically is it's 5v3, right? So you have 2 goals, goal left, goal right. It's a 5v3, and that's me right there, the coach right there. And the idea here is that you have 2 goals. The team in blue are the 5, the team in red are the 3. So it's the team in blue possess the ball 5 times, 5 times, keep the ball 5 times, and after the 5th time you can score a goal. The team on the red counter press to win the ball back, right? You can score on any goal. So here we're teaching them how to possess and how to counter press. Possession versus counter pressing. Think about it as the City way versus the Liverpool way. Teaching them both. How do I press with less numbers? How do I possess the ball with more numbers with the pressure on me? That's another example of what we do with them. Possession versus counter pressing. 5v3, possess the ball as a 5 passes. If they make 5 passes, then we now say, okay, make it 10 passes, make it 7 passes if it's too easy. We increase the difficulty of the blue team until they get it right. You see 8-year-old kids spreading out, switching the point of attack, dribbling one-on-one. You see them counter press as a team, as a 3, to win ball, go back, to squeeze it back. And we play this for 20 minutes. It gets tiring, but they're pressing, they're running, they're dribbling, they're passing, they're possessing the ball. The same thing that we see with the first team is what we're also seeing here, as an example. Now, there's some clubs here that I don't know if they do this. We try to keep it very, very simple. We try to follow the City way so these kids can learn. When they're watching the game, they're seeing how we build the play with Edison, how we build it with Walker and Akanji and Diaz and Rodri dropping in. This is the bedrock, the foundation of learning to play that way. Getting them comfortable on the ball, making those passes, connecting, using their brain to score the goal.
Wait, can I ask you something? Asking you. Obviously, I'm pretty sure, guys. As I said, this program is called the Boardroom with Pitchpoints. You guys know Karl is part of the channel, and we just want to be doing. We used to do them before in the past. We did the Haaland case study. We've done things like this in the past. Just so we just wanted to him to share on the thoughts on how Man City develop youth to elite players, because there's a lot of elite players out there that have come from Man City, or players who are doing very well. As I said, Jeremy Frimpong. Let's not forget Alex Garcia, who is now going to become one of the DMs for Spain. Who would have thought? Let's not also forget Eric Garcia. Anybody hasn't dribbled past him in La Liga this season. I know he's injured at the moment, but a lot of kids out there, Cole Palmer, who Chelsea fans are loving at the moment. Let's not forget Lavia. Regardless, he's injured. He was one of the best DMs in the league last season. So these are all for Man City. And Karl, as a coach, is trying to show us exactly what work goes behind this. Because Karl said the same thing as I always say. This thing of insulting Man City, saying, robots, oil money, or you just buy whatever. There's a lot of people who are working in the background, guys. Yep. A lot of people who are working in the background to make sure that the team is perfect, to make sure the right profile of player is picked. It's not just luck. Let me give you an example. The reason why things maybe are not working out at Chelsea, maybe they don't do this anymore. But Chelsea used to develop youth very well. They've got a nice youth system, but maybe they don't do it the right way anymore. Since Abramovich left, maybe the right people are not there. But sometimes appreciate what people are doing. Like, look at this all work here. Would you imagine that an 80-year-old is being taught on how to move on the pitch, what position to take, when to make the pass, the right pass, and when to press and when to not press? And somebody at 8, can you imagine? I just can imagine myself when I was at 8, somebody telling me to do the Edison row in keeper. You know what I mean? Like, they'll tell me, do this, don't hoof it. Like, imagine how calm you have to be as a 60-year-old, 80-year-old. So it's a lot of work. So guys, if you have any questions in the comments, ask the questions. Appreciate you, Wantali. Appreciate you, the new member here also. I think this has been stuck because Rama Kriska, I think I already shouted at you for saying a big up to you for becoming a member. Big up to you guys. If you want to become a member, go ahead. Fear, as always, I think you're just angry because of the draw. So I know I'll let you come down. Elite players, let's not get reactionary here. We actually gave you Sancho and you failed at United. So we actually producing much better players than United, to be honest. Hi guys, MCFR, how you doing? It says smash a like, love in the content. Go ahead, Carl.
Well, I mean, Patrick, I think for me, the joy of this thing is the fact that you're watching 8-year-old boys and one girl, by the way, one 7-year-old girl, actually 6.5. You're watching this guy's ball with the ball. I mean, seriously, possessing the ball, making angles, triangles, using the keeper, playing long, playing short, pressing. It's incredible. I always believe that kids are not too young to understand the game. You're watching these kids do this. And we're not trying to, people say, oh, well, they're too young, let them go play. Yeah, we allow them to express themselves. Go and dribble one-on-one. Go ahead, have fun with the ball. But we drop these little nuggets about, okay, here's why this is done. Here's why you make the angle. Here's why we want you to build the play. Because if you just kick the ball long, the quicker you kick the ball long, the quicker it comes back. The more you have the ball, the more chances you have of scoring a goal. It's proven statistically. And these kids begin to understand this, Patrick. Begin to see the value of keeping the ball and moving the ball and taking one-on-ones. In fact, it's a point where, when they start off, they all want to score goals. What we actually do is now, okay, the person who gets the assist, you get 5 points, versus the person who scores gets 1 point. And all of a sudden, they begin to change their behavior because everybody wants the points. Everybody wants to be the superstar. You now begin to see players who are trying to help their team keep the ball and score the goal versus me just being greedy to run and go score the goal. Right?
Yeah, can I ask, was this brought in by Pep Guardiola, or it was always there?
I don't know if it was brought in by him. What I do know is that ever since he's been here is when we've actually started doing all these things. Right? It's when he has been here, that's when we really, really started doing all these things. We've propagated this throughout the whole of the club. It's when he's been here. So it's I don't know. And I just started with them probably, I'm 2.5 years in right now. It's a question I have to ask them, but they really are really into this thing. We get coaching, we get all the material, all the equipment, all the balls, all the pennies, all the cones, everything from the club. Everything from the club, right? I have a 13-week program, week by week, that we run, week 1 through week 13, right? For example, week 13 here says, and I'll share my screen again. Week 13 here, let me tell you what week 13 objective is. Let me just share my screen right now. Hold on a sec. Okay. Week 13, actually it's week 10, right? Week 10 says, hey, here's week 10. Improve individual scheming games, learning outcome. Players to feel comfortable expressing themselves in small-sided games where they face with opponents on the pitch. Right? That's the objective, right?
Wait, is this the one that says game practice?
Yeah, game practice.
Number
right?
10.
Number 10.
It's the one you shared before, isn't it?
Right. This is it, right? 40 by 30. Each team looking to score in the opposition goal. Right? The pitch is split into 4 quarters, vertical and horizontal. Right? Normal rules apply if the goal, but however, the game restarts with a pass or dribble. Nobody's booting the ball or throwing in. It's all pass or dribble. Teaching them to keep the ball, move the ball. Right? In possession, no more than 1 outfield player is allowed in each of the zones. In possession. Right? Players are free to move to any part of the pitch, which means that there's a lot of rotation in and out of those zones.
Wait. So what? So let's also ask this, because I'm pretty sure even people watching will ask this. You know how they say, oh, Pep makes robots, they can't dribble. So what's the freedom of dribble in this teaching? What sort of freedom do you give kids? Or is it certain
Absolutely.
players that have freedom? Or like how do you give them freedom and yet teach them how to have
Yeah,
certain positions? Because position
that's a
playing is
great.
what Pep does.
That's a great question. So look at it. The key points: provides opportunities for players in possession to isolate themselves for 1v1. The only way you get out of the 1v1 is to dribble the person. So you are forced to dribble in this year. Or you can pass to the goalkeeper to create the overload with the other blue player. You get me? So let's say the blue player, see this arrow going here, right? Let's say this goalkeeper has the ball, he plays to the blue player here, right? This blue player can progress the ball by passing here, passing there, or dribbling one-on-one with the red. So this idea of those robots can't dribble is all a lie. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. Oscar Bob can dribble. Kopama can dribble. Foden can dribble, right? All these guys can dribble. Brian Diaz can dribble. Even Eric Garcia can dribble. They all can dribble, but they have game intelligence, which this allows them to what? To learn and to grow. Right? It's incredible. You know, it says here, points is make sure the goalkeeper is used what? Effectively. Make sure the goalkeeper, what does that mean? That means use the keeper as a third person to bounce off the ball, right? Right, and to wait the ball, to hold the ball and make what we call artificial transitions, right? Goalkeeper holds the ball, waits for the jump, plays the ball through, 1v1. But I think the most exciting part of this drill for me is the fact that when the blue has the ball, right, we encourage them to drive into the other quadrants and let this guy here take his position. So all of a sudden, a center back or left midfielder who has the ball can dribble through into this half right here, and guess what? This player here takes his position. Because no two players can be in the same box at the same time. Teaching them how to dribble 1v1, teaching them positional play and rotation into different zones, preparing them for 9v9 and 11v11, 4-3-3, 3-box-3, whatever it is, starting from 8 years old through 12. So this is kind of the work that we do with the MCSA or the MCFC here in the USA.
So what formations are you teaching them in games? Like what sort of formations? Because you keep most times when I remember when none of us had an idea about the box that Pep creates. Like what formations? Like okay, does Pep change the formation book? And do you get updates? Let's say, for instance, if City change the way they're playing or they try a new formation, are you guys given this that or this is what we're gonna try in 2024? Or it's up to you as coaches to implement what's best for your team individually?
No, it's up to us to implement what's best for our team with those guidelines that we talk about, right? How do we keep the ball? Can we play through? Can we play around? Can we play over? Right? Naturally, we want to use the 4-3-3 that we use. I mean, or when it's 7v7, we play a 2-1-3, right? Two center backs. Actually, it's 2 6s, not two center backs. One number 10, left winger, a right winger, and a number 9. That's kind of what we do. Now, there are times where we change formation. We play a box where we have a 2-2-2-2-2, right? So box in the middle, which is for 7v7, and then two wide strikers in the false 9. In our 11v11s, it's 4-3-3. It's what we do. And we actually play this 4-3-3 with the center back going into the midfield to make a 3-box-3. We actually do it on my older kids. We actually play that way. So we look at the players that we have. We look at the opponent that we have. We look at what the club is doing in the first team. And we try to borrow lessons from that to help these kids learn that and express themselves on the field based on their quality. That's kind of what we do. And it's incredible to watch these kids actually grow and learn and understand these things. I got 8-year-olds telling me about 4-1-4-1 or 4-3-3 and what it means and where this person should do, where they should play the ball through, where's the space, how to switch the point of attack from center back all the way to the right wing, how to drop in and drop out, how to mark one-on-one, how to build a play from the back using the goalkeeper. 8-year-old kids learning to play the City way. The same methodology that's used as the first team in the EDS is what we're following every single week over here. And you have parents who are excited about bringing their kids, who are hungry to bring their kids to the program every year. Oversubscribed. Your kids can't get in because too many. So it is magnificent. What's going on with the club, what the club is doing, what Khaldun is doing with the CFG, the idea, the growth. When we go to our center, you see Man City everywhere, plastered everywhere, all around all the facilities. They have what they call these tournaments that they host, where all the clubs come in and play. It really is incredible.
Yeah, I just sent you. I just sent you something there so that you can use to just explain to us the formation changes and how you set up. It's just a small tactic thing that we used to use. Remember, so it moves around you, so you can move around.
Okay.
Move around the players, and then maybe you can. Yeah,
Yeah,
and guys who are watching, thank you. Press the like. I know it's late, but press the like. We'll go on for a few minutes, but it's just this is interesting. Like for me, I'm being educated here because, as I said, Karl does coaching, and I just invited him to say, look, I'd like to talk to you on how Man City are developing these players. Because if you see a Man City developed player, trust me, even on a pitch, just playing, believe it or not, you'll be shocked. You're surprised. You're like, oh, this kid looks better than the other kids. This kid is 7 and playing with 13-year-olds, but this kid's positioning is way better than the other kids. I've seen it before. So there you go. So Karl, there you go. There's your tactic board. So basically, well, let's say for instance, what are you teaching? Let's say you've got 11 players. What exactly are you teaching on the setup? Because people always think Man City will set up this way, or they have set up that way.
Yeah.
But
so
what actual setups you guys have?
Yeah. So usually what we do with the older kids that play 11, we do a 4-3-3, right? We do a 4-3-3, left back, 2 center backs, right back. And what we tell them, there are 2 things that we do, right? We say, okay, when we have the ball, we want to play wide, okay? And when we have the ball, I want you to drop into here and you switch over. Very simple, just like what we do right now, okay? When we lose the ball, drop there, come back here, cover. So we have this really fast player that does this, able to do that role. Lots of energy, lots of speed, able to do that role. We used to play inside. We stopped that now because we found out the kids can't handle it at this age, at that age. But what we do, we drop in and out. We also sometimes we'll tell our striker to drop into here, to create this diamond in the middle and play out wide here. So essentially, get the ball in, play out wide. Okay, ball goes in here, drop into the box, finish it up. Get the ball in here, play out wide, drop into the hole, right? Over there, play through, score there. This is kind of what we do. Because our number 9 striker is a very strong player, very strong, physical. The best players we have are number 9, number 10, number 6, and then number this side of the field, essentially this whole half are the best players we have. The 11 and the goalkeeper is really good, struggles with shot stopping, but really good with their feet. So this is kind of what we do.
Now would you like to explain to me that box you talk about? This box you say.
Let me get my power cord.
The box that was used to trap Madrid.
Yeah, let me get my power cord. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Yeah. So guys, as I said, we're doing a show which we'll be doing a lot. It'll just be relaxed. It'll just be a small show. It'll be the boardroom with Pitchpoints. That's Karl speaking, Ogundoroli, and as you know him on Twitter. He does coaching and he also works with the Man City organization that looks after youth development. So we're just talking because, as I said, Man City right now has a lot of youth players everywhere and they're doing very well. So myself personally, I just wanted to sit down with him and him show me exactly how they develop these kids for them to become elite like this. People like Bob, look at Bob, how intelligent Oscar Bob is. Lewis, at that age, learning how to drop into midfield and when to drop off midfield and when to attack and when to not attack, the discipline. And then you look at other players who are asked to do those sort of roles in the team and they fail because they were not taught from the grassroots like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So Karl, yeah. So this box you keep talking about, how do you set up?
So we always start off, this is the average formation, what we try to keep, right? With a 4-3-3, right? 2 number 10s, 1 number 6, number 9, number 7, number 11. Okay. In possession, sometimes we'll ask the center back that's here, very quick player, to drop in next number. So we play a double 6. We ask the other center back that's going to drop in here. Kind of what Pep used to do last season. And so there's your box. The idea being the fact that most goals at that age come from the central areas. So how do we squeeze the middle of the field to win the ball back and transition quickly to go forward? The weakness of this is the fact that you have space here, right? 1v1s. So let's say a team that's very, very high quality plays against us and plays the same system. All of a sudden, they can play the two strikers here and they're in behind. That's why we have this player here, one that drops in and out, extremely quick. One of the quickest players we have in the league, drop in and out here. That's what we do. Right. So again, started.
So basically, that's John Stones.
Yeah, but this kid is John Stones, but with the speed of Sane.
Oh, okay.
You following me?
Yeah.
Right? John Stones, but with the speed of Sane. That's how quick his player is. Literally lightning quick. Able to recover quickly back to cover for any gaps that are there. So that's kind of what we do. Sometimes we'll play, drop this number 9 to drop right here.
Yeah.
Right? And play the false 9. Basically overload one side of the field. Sometimes we play what we call a 7-7, which is basically saying, okay, I want the number 9 striker to go overload that side of the field right here, overload right here, so this number 10 can drop in and go score. Because what happens sometimes is that players will be attracted to number 9, drift over here, overload is right here, but that allows number 10 to go drop in here. Or switch the ball to this side here, this player can now go in there and go score a goal.
Can I ask you something? Why does Pep Guardiola? I've noticed this, and I don't know if it's just me. I've noticed that sometimes, majority of the times, he likes playing De Bruyne next to the striker, and not like how he used. De Bruyne used to be like the architect from down the middle to deeper. These days, he plays him next to the striker, and he asks him to press with the striker. And you see De Bruyne forming a 4, like a 2.
Yeah.
Why does he do that?
Let me explain why. So when we are out of possession, what we normally tend to do is play a 4-4-2 to press. So what happens is, let's say this is De Bruyne right here, right? And this is Haaland, right? These two guys will drop back here, right? A 4, and then we have Haaland and De Bruyne up here, right? This is kind of what we do. Whereas we have the 6 right here. So it changes to a 4-4-2. This is kind of what we do, right? And you have De Bruyne and Haaland. Remember the Arsenal game at home, the 4-1, where Haaland drops in here and De Bruyne makes the run outside, right? This is kind of what we did. Out of possession, they were attacking us. We got the ball 1 up, right? Haaland gets the ball in the middle here, gives De Bruyne, De Bruyne runs and scores a goal. Right? So out of possession, this is kind of what we tend to do. De Bruyne,
so
Haaland,
basically, you also teach the kids at the grassroots like this.
Yeah. So what we teach the kids is, hey, listen, if we're out of it, so let's go back to where we were. So before we were, our 4-3-3 is this way, right? You got the 3 strikers, you got the 6, the 8, and leave it as the 8, and we got the 10. Okay, this is kind of what we start off with, 4-3-3, pretty straightforward. What we tell the kids to do is that, hey, listen, when we don't have the ball, I want you guys to be compact, to block the middle. So I want the left winger to drop in, I want the right winger to drop in, I want the 6 to remain flat, and I want you number 10 to go press up to win. So let's say we now win the ball. I want the winger to go, striker go, come back here, everybody move up, right there. It converts back to a 4-3-3 again. Or if this guy is up here when we win the ball, it's now a 4 in the middle to stop the counter attack from coming in again. That's a 4. And you'll be surprised that, so this is for the older kids, not for the U8s. U8s don't do 4-3, 11-11. They do 7-7, 9v9.
Okay.
But I want to show you what we do with our 9v9s.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
It's only 11. I want 9. Let's see. I want 9. Can't do 9. That's 7. Okay. So for the 77s, here's kind of what we do. This is for like the U8s, right? We normally play. I'm not doing 4-2. I'm doing 2-3. Okay. So here's kind of what we do. This is what we did today. In our 77s, right? This morning. We played like this. Exactly what we did right here. Okay, we had a goalkeeper, right? 2 center backs. They're really not center backs, they're actually central defensive midfielders because they can play. We have 1 number 10, right wing, left wing. So what we tell them is, hey, you know what? Make the pitch nice and big. I trust this player right here to orchestrate. This player is wonderful, number 10, can orchestrate the ball, is exceptional on the ball. I mean, top player at the academy, pre-academy level, right? Able to keep the ball, play wide, and squeeze up. So in attack, it's literally a 3-1, 2-1-3. Out of possession, drop back, right? 2-3-1, right there. In possession, forward, forward. Sometimes we play like this. We do a 2, do a box, drop in here, and play wide. See that, Patrick? So think about your box system. This is the translation of the box system from a 7v7 into a 11v11, where you have that box midfield, but you now have 2 split strikers left and right as false nines, if you would. The idea behind this is confuse your opponent who normally set up with a 3 here or who to mark. They're not quite sure. So if out of the 3, one marks here, one person is what? Alone by themselves, 1 versus 2, always overloads. So if you play the ball out here, this person can drop and go score a goal. Just the middle. That's another approach that we can take as well. So there are different ways in which, again, we can play, but all these things are all based on a lot of the things that we are taught in the academy about, okay, listen, I have the ball as a goalkeeper, okay? First principle, can I play through? No, I play wide. Can I play wide? No, I play over. That's it, right? 1v1, dribbles and scores, keep possession, recycle the ball, use the extra person, lose the ball, squeeze up to get it back quickly. If the ball's on this side, right? If the ball's on here.
What is the time? Do you have a time that I have to get the ball back?
5 seconds.
Okay.
Yep, that's what we're trying to do. 5 seconds. And this is even at the U8 level. Try to get back in 5 seconds if you can. Try to get back in 5 seconons. Try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what we explain to the kids is it's not that you get the ball at 5 seconds, but the pressure you put on them to get the ball at 5 will make them force an error. Are you following me?
Yep.
So when the kids start off, they're not getting the ball. They're a little frustrated. But then we explain to them that, no, you did well because you forced them into an error, which means that somebody back here can get the ball back again. Your press is not sometimes to win the ball. It's sometimes to disrupt them so that they make an error and you can recover the ball back and then start again. Right? These are the things we're teaching these kids about how to play the game. So they now understand that we are a team. My effort is not just useless. I'm doing something for the team to get better and score a goal. It's a whole different way of thinking. Completely. So that's, I mean, it's when people say, oh, City are just robots and they don't know what to do. Let me show you what we do with our 9v9s, Patrick. Check this out. Yep. Okay. So 9v9 has 9 players in the field out, right? Here's what I like to play with a 9v9.
You're not set up to 11. You still have 11. You're not set it up to 9.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's no 9 here. There's no 9 here.
Oh.
See, there's no 9 here, right? I'm just taking these guys, just taking them away for now. Just assume they're not here. Let's just make that, okay?
Yeah.
Well, what we do, Patrick, is that we say, okay, we're going to play as if we're playing a 4-3-3, but we're going to take away 2 fullbacks. We're going to play just 2 center backs, okay? 3 midfield and 3 strikers for 9v9. Now, a 9v9 field is half of a full field. Think about splitting the field into a half of a regular field, the other way, breadth-wise. That's a 9v9 field, right? Some people play a 3-3-2. We don't do that. We like to play a 2-3-3 because we want to keep that midfield press right there and press you high up with 6 players. If we lose the ball, this midfielder drops back to cover, either here or here. This one drops here or here to cover. But this really works for us with the players that we have. I did something crazy last season in the 77, Patrick, right? Something insane. Here's what I did, right? I played this in some games and it was incredible. In 77. Here's what I did. What did I do? 7, yeah. Goalkeeper. This is what I did, Patrick. I played 1 center back, 2 number 10s, and a front 3. But you know why I could do this? Because this guy, a goalkeeper, play high. This center back was so athletic, they could cover anywhere in this back line, literally. Literally. Energy for days. A beast. So because that kid could do that, These two just created. We considered 1 or 2 goals, but we scored like 12. There's one game I think we scored like 20-something goals in one game. Because just the team try and build out, we just press, win the ball back, bang. Try and build out, press the ball back, bang. Try and build back, press the ball back, bang. Right? The press was there with a 5. Like keep this one as that, and then the goalkeeper stays up high. So, and to my friends who, I have some Chelsea friends who think that, oh, I don't know how to park the bus. Just don't know how to. I tried it once. I hated it. I didn't like it. You know, I mean, there's one team I played that were much superior than we were, much superior. I still played a 4-4. I still played a 4-3-3, but I played higher up the field, about 20 meters higher up the field to win the ball high and transition towards goal. Do I lose games? Absolutely. Have I lost some games? Absolutely. Right? I've lost games 5-1.
So what's the mentality you teach these kids at this city play group? Where like what's the mentality that when you lose games, like what's the mentality? Because look at the big team, they lose games but they come back again with a bounce. So is there something you tell them that?
What I always tell the kids is football always gives you a second chance. Yeah, 8-year-old kids are saying football always. So when the kids come to lose the game, they're sad. Some of them are even crying because they're like, guys, football always gives you another chance if you keep playing. Then they want to go again, and then they win, and then they lose. You get a second chance, go play again, and they get back on the horse again, and they play again. We try to teach them the mentality that this is fun. If it's not fun, then you're not on the right team. Make it fun, enjoy it. Right? And then when kids make a mistake and they're upset, we always encourage them. Right? We're hard on them, but we encourage them. We tell them the good things. We celebrate them. And when we coach them, instead of stopping the game, you know, some coaches say freeze. We don't freeze unless we really have to. We pull the player aside in the game itself and tell them, hey, next time do this, do that, do this, do that, do that. And when they do it, we clap for them and celebrate them. Right? It's a whole psychology of child development about how do I reaffirm this child and build their confidence. But you know, I complained about my goalkeeper to you, right? I complained. So you know what we did to solve the problem? We brought another goalkeeper from one of my other teams who was more experienced, a better player, better goalkeeper, to start in goal in some games. We told our goalkeeper to watch and get confidence and watch. And now our goalkeeper is now making saves because they've seen another player play so well, and that player is also coaching the goalkeeper on what to do as a child as well, gaining confidence.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Some people just get rid of somebody, you know, just like that and drop them off. But that is amazing. Karl, do you have anything else to share? Because I think you've shared a lot.
No, that's really it, Patrick. I just wanted to take this time to explain to people. Listen, when the club is doing stuff, they're not robots. There's a process to this. I enjoy what I do. It's a highlight of my week, going to practice with these kids.
Yeah, I know. You're always very happy, and you always share a lot of
always very happy,
which is great.
I'm so happy. It's like a blessing to me, and I get paid for it. The club pays me. I'm coaching kids the Man City way, and they're paying me for it. It's not much money. It's not much. It's not like I can make a living off it, but it's enjoyable. So I just wanted to share that with everybody out there on the True City fan.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. We'll be doing more of these, guys. And if you have got any questions in the comments or after when you watch this, please let us know. Karl, if Karl answers them, I'll respond them to you. I always respond to people later on. But guys, this was thoughts on how Man City develop youth to elite players. We will have a lot of the boardroom with Pitchpoints. There'll be a lot of shows that would be like this, and it would be good between them Sundays, Karl, isn't it? Sundays where we are calm and everything. And then look, guys, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Drop a like, subscribe to Pitchpoints. We also do Champions League football previews there. Not sure if you're going to do the Champions League previews, Karl.
I promised to do that. I'm going to do it on Monday. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do the review and then the preview for the week. So I'll do it tomorrow. Grand,
yeah. So guys, there you go. So go subscribe to Pitchpoints, and it's also streaming right now as we talk. And guys, those who are watching on Twitter, also come and subscribe to the channel. We're getting a lot of views on Twitter, about 1,000, 1K, 2K, 3K views on Twitter. Bring those views to YouTube, guys, and support the channel. If you want to become a member, like Krishna, I keep saying Krishna. I keep saying his name wrong. Yeah, become a member, guys. You can become a member and support the channel in another way. But thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you next time, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.